What's up, Power 30 family? I'm Tiffany Eli, and we're here with another segment of 5 Questions with Tiffany. Only this time virtually with one of the #1 celebrity stylists, Miss Tiffany Hasbourne. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Tiff. How are you?
Good. We have the same thing. That's so cool. So, tell me about the day-to-day life of a celebrity stylist.
It usually starts off by you get a project, and then say for instance, lately I've been working on a TV show. So what I do is I pull a week's worth of clothes, and then you get the schedule every day, your shooting schedule, and then you get your artist dressed and ready for the show. If they have more than one look a day, you find out if there's somewhere for them to change, and then you bring the clothes with you, you change them out for the day, you make sure they're good on camera, and that's if you do television. If you're doing a music video, you find out how many looks you're doing, you find out what the scene is, you dress your artist for the scene, you get them ready, you pay attention to what's already been shot so you can keep the continuity going, and then you change them when the director's ready for them to be changed. Or it's just shopping and prepping for jobs, and then the worst part of it is returns, where everything that you don't use or that needs to go back within your budget, you take it all back to the stores. They're never happy to see us when that happens.
So how is it as a female in the industry? Just looking back on our past, how females were stuck to certain occupations, such as being home wives and mothers. So how do you deal with the consequences and the day-to-day troubles?
As far as personally or professionally?
Both.
Both. Okay. So I have been a stylist now for over 13 years, and I have just gotten a life in the last 2 years, or made an effort to have a life in the last 2 years, because I've spent the last 12 years of my life dedicating everything to working. So, a lot of times, people, my friends will get married, I'll be their bridesmaid, I'll have to tell them, listen, I'll be there for the wedding, but I can't promise you all the things in between. Like, I may not make your bachelorette party, I may not make the engagement party. I remember one of my best friends got married, and I was to her engagement party, and I remember sitting on set with 50 Cent, and he was like, listen, you gotta work. What can you do? Can't buy a good gift if you don't work. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So, it's just, I think what I've learned in the last 2 years professionally is that you have to have balance. You have to work hard and chase your dreams, but there is a time when you have to cut things off and be professional and take time for yourself, because none of it is all worth it if your health and your family life is not intact for it. Because my family is super supportive of what I do.
So I know you don't just style for music, people, or TV. So out of all the projects you've worked with, what would be your favorite project you've done?
My favorite project that I worked on, that changes every year. But the one project that always sticks out in my head is when I worked with the cast of High School Musical. And the reason it changed, it's always a project that's close to me, is that I worked really hard to break into music. And, I was with 50 Cent and G-Unit for years, and kind of got pigeonholed into being a hip-hop stylist. I had 50, I had Nas, I had A-Marie, I had Busta Rhymes, I had the Ying Yang Twins, I had Little John, and then to go from that to Disney Channel was, I feel like, a point in my career where I showed people that I was versatile. I had one point in my career where people thought I can only dress men, and I'm like, I'm a female, how do you think I can only dress men? So I think I started to transition into that, where you know, I started working with females, but the thing that kind of pushed it over the edge was when I stepped out of the music element and started working towards Disney Channel and having to really show people that I had versatility and that I can handle anything because I came from music. You know, when we had the cast of High School Musical, I believe it was 6 people that I was dressing at one time. And, you know, the head of publicity for Disney Channel was just like, how do you stay so calm? And I'm like, I run rap videos. I dress, you know, 50, the entire G unit, and take control of all of over 200 extras on a video set. So to dress 6 people is kind of easy compared to, you know, what I had to be able to do on the set of a music video and being in control of the wardrobe for the entire video.
So speaking of what you have to do, how do you make sure you capture your client's vision, but you give them appropriate look and what you believe is best for them?
I believe that the best way to do that is compromise. It's a way for you to take what they vision and kind of make what creatively works within a budget and what vision you think will read right on camera. You know, a lot of times people want things that, you know, may not necessarily work. When I worked with Yo Gotti, he liked to wear a lot of white, but with certain directors, the way they shoot it and the way they light it, white bleeds the camera. So maybe it's something where like when I did his I Am album cover, where we do black and white. And you ask beforehand, you tell the photographer, listen, he likes to wear white. How can we make what he wants work along with what you want? And, you know, black and white jacket was a great compromise. When French wanted to wear a bear head on the cover of the freshman cover of Double XL, you know, I really had to figure out what was the best way to, like, how does one wear a bear head? So, you know, I had to talk to my tailor about how do we execute this without it looking crazy. And what we came up with was we actually took a real bear head and put it on the, we had a mink coat that we turned into a vest and put the bear head, made the bear head attachable to a mink vest. And, you know, even price-wise, what he paid for that, I made it so that he can wear the mink vest after. So it's all about compromise. You know, I learned that with Busta too. Busta always wanted to do very exaggerant, over-the-top things, and it was a way of how do we do something where it doesn't look crazy, because he kind of can go left, and it's a way to make it read where it can look crazy but be fly. So, you know, it's all in compromise.
Right. And based on my knowledge, it seems as though your mom has a lot to do with your fashion sense. I mean, most of your efforts and your success has contributed to her. So how do you...
That's great. How did you know that?
I've just been doing my research. So what do you do to show your appreciation for her?
To my mom?
Yes.
Okay, so my mom, ever since I was a kid, my mom was an agent for years. So she did a lot of casting for television, worked with a lot of celebs, and she always was into fashion. Once I decided I wanted to move from Atlanta and become a stylist, you know, she paid for me to get my portfolio done. She introduced me to her friends in the business that, you know, had agencies that kind of steered me in a direction to get my portfolio done or to work for certain people, maybe a referral to someone else to do, to do shoots to add to my book or to intern to learn. So the way I just, you know, show my mom appreciation is, you know, I take care of her when I can, you know. For her, I remember for her 60th birthday, I bought her this really great, like, because she really loves clothes, like, I bought her for this really great Louis Vuitton book bag. that she loved. You know, when I can, it's funny, for Mother's Day, I knew I was going to be out of town. I asked her if she wanted to go to LA with me to, you know, kind of go experience LA. I just always, I include her, really, is how I show her I appreciate her. I talk to her about business. I talk things through with her about my frustrations, because as a female that's been in the entertainment business, she can relate. And so, you know, although there's a big gap between how when she did business and how we do business now, you know, there's certain things she doesn't understand. You know, like she doesn't understand, you know, people calling you at 1 o'clock in the morning asking for, you know, clothes for the next day. She's like, you know, we didn't do that. We had professional hours. I'm like,
Right.
that anymore. But I think I just include her. I let her know that I appreciate her. She didn't even know that she had so much influence in my career until I became the fashion editor for Vibe Vixen, and Vibe Vixen asked me where I got my fashion sense from.
That's good. It's always good to have a relationship with your mom. I know for me, I'm going through that now. Like, you're growing up, and so it feels like your mom may feel like she's losing you. But the best thing is just to include them. So last but not least, can you define a hero and choose somebody besides your mother that you would consider to be your hero?
My hero. Can it be a family member, or it has to be somebody?
We can do somebody close to you, whether they're a family or friend, and somebody you don't know.
Okay, somebody that I don't know. Okay. I mean, I love, you know, this is gonna be so like cliche, but you know, Oprah to me is, I feel like she is the first woman that has been able to show the industry that you can be a mogul without compromising who you are. You don't have to be thin. You don't have to be, you know, a man. You don't have to be defined by a man. You can still be respectful of men and just be about your business. Like, I always respect what she does as far as business, because she just leaves the door open for opportunity for growth. You know, she started as an actress. She went into hosting one of the top television talk shows. She now does journalistic shows. She's a producer. She now has her own network. She owns her own magazine. She employs, you know, other people, you know, kind of, and one of my first agency, let me not say that. The second real professional agency I've ever been signed to, Reggie Wells, who was her makeup artist, and I believe still is, was signed to the same agency as me. And it also showed me that she was a woman in this business who took care of her team, which is something that I really pride myself in. I can have about 5 projects going on at one time because I take care of my team.
Right.
And, you know, as much as everyone would like to say, you know, I built this by myself, or I did this, or I do this, I'm nothing without the people who support me, without the team that works with me, without my family. So I really look up to her in that aspect, because I feel like she's very honest about that when she does interviews. You know, she makes herself vulnerable to let people know that she's human and a person, but still shows that, you know, I'm about my business. She's not afraid to say that, and I tell that to my assistants and my interns all the time. Like, listen, I can be as cool as you want, but I don't play when it comes to my business. Like, this is still work. You do what you love so that it doesn't feel like work, but it's still a job.
Right.
So, you know, that I would say Oprah.
Thank you for the interview, and for following up with Tiffany Hasbourne, you can contact her at
My website is www.tiffthestylist.com, and my Instagram and Twitter handle are Tiff the Stylist.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.